here between the Dollar General and the lumber yard, which are completely on the ground, maybe even 5 feet off the ground at most. From what I know right now, there still are people trapped under debris right now that they have been working endless hours to get out, and it's still just pure chaos around here. But it does look like the entire community is coming together to help out.
The light of day is going to bring a lot into perspective, but you were there in the dark of night as the tornadoes struck. You spent several hours helping once you got on the scene. What was it like? What were you able to do? First responders, I'm sure, were scrambling because the power went out. You could hardly see anything.
Yeah, it was very intense. I was one of the first people to get into town here, and there are power lines down across the roads. A lot of vehicles are completely unrecognizable, and all you could hear in the distance were people just screaming for help, wanting to be rescued and needing assistance. So there was just endless. The hours felt like minutes, just trying to get people unburied.
We're looking right now at the aerial footage that you captured. Severe Studios, this is your job. You go out as a storm tracker. I'm looking at some of this footage here. Unrecognizable. The homes, you can't even make out what were homes. It is completely trashed. We're seeing trees that have been shredded right down to the bark, to the nub. Is the entire west side of town there on Highway 61, is it completely destroyed?
Yeah, there is a very wide swath all the way here through town. The water tower was actually bent over at a 90-degree angle, and it is slabbed a few houses here. They're completely unrecognizable. The trailer park here behind the lumber yard is completely gone as well. It's just pure devastation here in Rolling Fork.
It's a gut-wrenching scenario when you arrive on something like this. You know the power of the storms. Also, Rolling Fork, not far, about 200 miles from Smithville, Mississippi, where the most violent, strongest tornado of modern times happened in 2011. This area is, of course, an area that's familiar with storms like this. They know that violent storms can happen, but the folks here are living in situations where their structures are not built for these types of wind, and some of them may have been riding out this storm in a mobile home park. This is a scenario where this kind of weather won't hold up in that kind of scenario. It's life-threatening.
Yeah, very.
When you look at the situation for the rest of today, will you stay on scene there in Rolling Fork? What will your plans be going forward?
Yeah, so I will be staying here on scene possibly for the next few days, just trying to see where I can help with this process of cleaning up.
Not to mention we have the severe threat that comes in late tomorrow into the early morning hours on Monday as well. Finally, before we let you go, messaging out there for folks in the South. We've had since Christmas of last year, every single week in the South, the threat of storms come in. What messaging would you give to folks when you've had an eyewitness account of the power of these storms? What messaging would you give to them?
Definitely take everything you hear from the National Weather Service and your local storm chasers. Definitely take it for what it's worth. If they're saying that there is a tornado threat or a severe weather threat, definitely give it the time of day and listen to it. Just because it might not impact your house doesn't mean it can't impact the house 2 doors down from you. So if they say there's a threat, definitely pay a lot of attention.
Jordan, the work you do out there saves lives. We recognize it. You're a storm chaser on the regular. A lot of people listen and watch to what you're doing. We hope you stay safe during the storm. We want you to know we recognize the work you're doing here, the images and sharing the story. Important thing to do. Thanks for being on Fox Weather.
Thank you.
All right.